and methodical path to violence. A picture we would never have obtained without accessing his devices. This case is a potent reminder for anyone who needed one of the stakes of our work. We protect the American people from a staggering range of threats, but make no mistake, securing the homeland against terrorism remains our top priority. The men and women of the FBI are deployed around the clock, all over the country and around the world, identifying and disrupting threats and pursuing those who would do us harm.
You hear this clown? This clown who sits here pontificating about what a wonderful job the heroes at the FBI do going after a single raghead, okay? Another Muslim terrorist that he's going to proudly offer up to the American citizenry to show you that he actually has a pulse and they actually give a you-know-what. Hey, listen, Mr. Ray, like your predecessor, Mr. Free. I don't know where you guys come up with these names, but I got to tell you, pal, we're not buying it. We just lived through 3.5 years of endless BS caused by operative apparatchiks that make everything that went on in the Soviet Union blush. So I'm not interested. I'm really not interested. And you found a Muslim that learned how to fly an airplane? Really, pal? Because I got a buddy of mine was in the FBI for 30 some odd years. And when his daughter graduated Embry-Riddle back in 2000 or 99, all the classmates had names like Hamdoun and Majid and Abraham. That's how you're on it. Right, buddy? That's how good. Let me quote George Tenet, head of the CIA, one of your Confederates after 9/11, right? That we just didn't have any idea that they could fly our planes into our own buildings. And then after exposing his gross ineptitude, that mulaka gamisu, George Tenet, yeah, one of my own, a real mulaka. Well, what did he do? He offered to head up the new Homeland Security program because he wasn't inept enough in destroying the CIA, like Mr. Potato Head Brennan. Yeah, Mr. Brennan, Mr. Potato Head. Well, we're going to surround the place, boys. We're going to break out Tammany Hall. Where's McCabe and Comey? Father Flanagan, saints preserve us. And now we have this putz. This, he don't know what he is. Look at him, right? An accountant, a glorified CPA. That's what we have running the greatest supposed police agency in the world. And he comes to us with this pitiful display of like a bad dog who just shysted all over the family carpet. But he comes back with a dead animal to his master to show you that he's really not a bad dog, right? That's what this guy's doing. And all under his nose, the Strocks, the McCabes, the Comeys, not a word. Now he stays in his little rabbit hole. I cannot leave the bunker. Right, Mr. Ray? Not a word about the treason, the abhorrent, absolute, national disgrace in your department. And you don't have a thing to say about it. But you think we're interested? What are we going to reprise the Gulf War, pal? Are we going to line up a bunch more liars that want to create WMD stories? Right? Because I've never gotten over that. We were bombed by 16 Saudi Arabians on 9/11, according to all you geniuses, and Georgie Bush, and all that rat group. And how did we get even? Remember the bullhorn? The people that did this are going to hear from us soon. Really? Well, they're still waiting in Saudi Arabia to hear from us. We just keep throwing money at them. By the way, that's where bin Laden was from. But you know what we did? We bombed Iraq. You know what that's like? Yesterday, December 7th, right? When the Japs bombed Pearl Harbor, it would have been like, I don't know, bombing Korea because they were Asian too. and never doing anything to Japan. Because that's what we did. We bombed Iraq. And we never went after the two countries behind 9/11, Iran and Saudi Arabia. So this is beyond the Hegelian principle. You know, like when Nero wanted to get rid of the Christians, he started a fire in the ghetto and blamed the Christians for starting the fire in the ghetto where they lived. And when Hitler burned down the Reichstag, blamed the Jews. It's a classic government cover-up. You know, when they screw up and do illicit and illegal things, most people look for that illegality. Let me tell you, it's always in the cover-up. It's always in the cover-up. They are trying to cover up all this treason against Trump desperately. And if this guy had one molecule of genuine patriotic concern in his whole being, well, Comey and McCabe et al. Would have been hauled up in irons by now. But Mr. Wray hasn't a thing to say. But he wants us to keep going down this, I caught a big bad Muslim road, like we give a you-know-what. You know, if this wasn't so tragic, it would be hysterical. Like the axiom says, it's funny till someone gets hurt, and then it's hysterical.